Okay. Wonderful. I don't know if I could start without hearing that voice anymore. I'm going to call it the voice of my soul in one of my guides. Then I'll feel better, everybody, about the fact that I have to listen to that so often. Oh, welcome, everyone. We are here for guided assurance. We could call it assured guidance, right? Both work, don't they? It's fantastic. So in our time today, we are going to not only give you some things that you are looking for now, but also, just to be transparent with you, I want to also describe a little bit more about the upcoming immersion, to how to feel at home on earth in your universal, your multidimensional self. Universal, multidimensional, put them together, multi-universal self. I like that. Next time I'll call it that, multi-universal self. So many of you, why I'm doing many of this, much about this topic, is because many of you have had readings with me. Many of you are curious about my work, and some of you don't have a clue, and that's fine. But the majority of people I work with these days, which is fantastic, are existing in parallel universes. Now, as I said, this could be brand new information to some of you. So roll with it just for a minute, because you probably have a sense that you have this expanded nature that is there and you don't often tap into it. And you're like, what is all of that about? What makes me keep going out all the time? Why do I, when either things get stressful or I feel like I need something, I go up and out? Where am I going? It's to your other existences, because you live multidimensionally. And some people have never told you about it. And someone like me has told you some about it. And I want to help you be able to dissolve all the challenges that come with being a parallel, as I call it, in a earth body, earth skin, some people call it, being such a high level, amazingly vast soul. I'm going to change that a little bit. No, I'm not. I'm going to change this. There, I like that better. Yes, I like that better. Okay, more centered. Level soul that has so much to bring and hasn't known how to bridge having all of that available here and now, because of the challenges that parallels have, and I have connection to all those parallel universal connection, are fascinating, and they can all be taken care of. You don't have to have them. One of the main ones is this idea of being empathic and overly sensitive, and the feeling that you aren't understood here. That doesn't have to be like that. This overly compassionate nature actually is another aspect we'll talk about. But the overly empathic nature, we think, oh, I'm just a highly sensitive soul and I'm empathic, and that's what high level souls are all about. There's nothing I can do about it. Not true. Okay, not true at all. There is something. Numerous years ago, I started looking into it because there were so many people existing in these beautiful dimensions. And by the way, these larger universal dimensions actually hold the new world and the new earth. They do. That's why I love connecting with all of you parallels, all of you who are part of this multidimensional universal nature, is because you're holding the new world, you're holding the new earth in your very beingness. And it needs to come here. We need it here, don't we? And you have incredible keys. So anyone on this call, that's going to be you. You wouldn't be drawn to this call if this wasn't relevant for you. Okay, so you don't have to question, is she talking about me? I am. Okay, back to the topic. So the feeling is you're empathic, You pick up people's energies, you don't want to, but you do it. And so it makes you feel like you have to isolate because nobody understands how sensitive you are, and you get scared much more easily, and you just feel like it's a dangerous world. Anybody know any of those feelings? Yeah, they're really up right now. That's part of why I'm doing this all now, whether it's this talk or the immersion starting November 13th, is because it's a time where the energies are just wah, wah, wah. You know, when we thought they were intense last summer, now I keep hearing that this month, the beginning of the month, which is exactly when we're starting, to the middle of December is like going to the solstice, you know, just boom, boom, boom. Why is that? It's a wonderful thing. More energy is coming in, but we want to develop the receptor sites in our bodies, hearts, souls here, all aspects of ourselves. We want to have the receptor sites available to receive them, these energies, with grace and ease. Because if we don't receive these energies with grace and ease, guess what happens? It bounces off and it feels like a trigger. So it will feel like these larger energies are just going bam on us, bam on us, bam on us. So we want to name a number of the pieces that come with that feeling of being from these other universal dimensions and not understanding how this world works and feeling like you have to, whoa, slow down the horses, right? So you'll feel like you're wanting to slow down the horses all the time. But the fact is, those horses, what a fun analogy, huh? Because horses are power, aren't they? Oh, yeah, right. So wanting to slow down the horses and the energy is counter to who you are, because you are all of that energy. You're connected to the infinite field of creation, that field that says anything is possible. You live in that field. You exist in that field. So it is a beautiful thing to bring all of that into your heart, especially, and hold that here for your sake. So that when these larger energies come in, which are all a part of you, in fact, you have front row seats to these energies. You can welcome them and say, thank you. You are welcome here. Welcome home. I want you this time. Now, one of the reasons you don't want those larger energies in at times, and you felt that in your human existence, it's don't bring it in, yikes, or it's all too much, comes up a lot for you guys. That's why you go up and out. It's all too much here. It's all too much when I don't have connection to the vastness of who I am. That oneness, that vastness, that sense of all that is, that sense that all is well. Right? When you don't have connection to that, it will be overwhelming here. It will feel like you have to slow down the horses. It will feel like you have to isolate, hide, pull back, all those kinds of things. Now, the other piece to that, I know I'm saying a lot. That's why we do replays. I've had to teach people as I go, I don't warm everybody up and take deep breaths and all of that. I'm assuming that you can do that for yourself. And we just need to take advantage of this time to bring the roaring river of life forward. So I'm sorry if I don't do introductions like, hi, my name is Susan Taylor Shire. It's great to be with you. But I'll do that now. Hi, it's Susan Taylor Shire. It's great to be with you. Okay. I'm going to assume you know that because you got an email from me. So you know my name and you know why you're here. Okay, great. So back to the topic. Imagine that you are connected to the field of infinite creation, which is a universal power source like nothing else. It's the original blueprint. It's the way we were designed to live. It's the true way. It's amazing that you're still existing in that field. And we want that to come in. But that is gold. That is incredible. That is royal. That is amazing. So I totally understand coming here to this clunky level of things. When you first came, when you're here now, the feeling is, why would I want to bring this precious treasure chest of me in my fullness, in my glory, in my gold? Why would I want to bring that into this world? Good point. Good point. I'm right there with you. Why would you want to bring that in? For yourself. That's it. So you have it in your body for your fulfillment, for everything that is real for you. I want to teach you in the immersion, and right now as much as possible, that your empathic nature is because you're always reaching out. Reaching out. Is this going to make me feel more connected? Is that going to make me feel more connected? It's unconscious. When you have absolute connection to the all that is in your body, and you have assured guidance from that, or guided assurance that you establish from having that, you would be surprised, but it will happen, guaranteed. I've worked with people for many years helping them do this. You will not be looking outside yourself so often for, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother? Can you help me? Okay. You will be more centered in yourself. You will be holding on to that precious gold that you are, not tightly. You will be holding it as the regal, valuable sense of you. You will feel supported utterly by these universal existences of you. You will be supported utterly. You will feel it. You will know it. Then you can work as the collective you are designed to be. We're all designed to be a collective, one with everything. But we're not designed to be one with everything in this human dimension. That's the oops, okay? And that's part of why an overly sensitive soul with this empathic nature will get caught in that oops, because the feeling is, I want to get connected to the oneness. But you haven't learned how to get connected to the vastness of the expanse of oneness, right? Because you're sort of like, what's out there? It's just source and quantum field, and it's this intellectual understanding, but I don't know what's out there. In the immersion, we'll go out there a whole bunch of times so you feel it and know it here. When you are connected to that field and you hold that in yourself, you feel completely supported. And again, you don't have this tendency to be overly sensitive to what's all around you. You're an adventurer and explorer. So you're always like, what's that? I want to experience that. I want to experience that. And when you say that, you're just out there, out there, out there. What you really want to do is experience all of this in you. What does it feel like to be connected to the oneness and eat an apple? What does it feel like to be connected to the all that is and skip down the street? What does it feel like to be in guided assurance? I want to keep using that phrase because it's so important, or assured guidance. I like them both. Guided assurance, and do this, create that, so that there's nothing you can't create from guided assurance living in you. That's what we want to do and create and live from and be guided by. When that's the case, you will find you won't be out there being empathic. The other point, and I know I'm saying a lot, but they've got a lot to share, those parallel dimensions with you. The other point is, when you were out in those fields before you started doing earth incarnations, you could transform anything. You're transformers. You're not healers. You're transformers. You could transform anything. You have an orange, you want an apple. Ding-a-ling. You know that, oh, I'm dating myself. that witch that twitched her nose and it all happened, right?
Yes.
So you were able to do that. You could transform anything. That's the spirit of manifestation, isn't it? If I want a parking place, it will show up. I will create it. It really is about creation, not manifestation. So as a soul, you know how to do that. You come here and you go, oh, those people are having difficulty, aren't they? They're having difficulty. Oh, I could feel what they're feeling, the fear, the anger. If I take that in and transform it into my body, they won't feel it and there'll be more place for oneness. Doesn't work like that though here. It doesn't work like that at all here. Doesn't work well like that, okay? You can't, because of free choice, you can't just take all the fear and the anger and the sadness from somebody else and transform it to make them feel better. Doesn't work like that here. Everybody is doing, you do you. That's one of my fun themes lately. You do you. Everyone because of free choice is doing what's true for them, right? Okay. When they're ready to choose something higher, they will or they won't. But you trying to transform them messes with their free choice, makes you like God, and also messes you up. So then you get all empathic and you start taking on those feelings, and then you're like crowded with those feelings, and then you want to isolate and go away from everybody, and your heart hurts. Your heart hurts because you're taking on all these energies and never feeding you. We want to switch all that for you, okay? Because it's not going to work for you. It's going to hurt your heart, and it's going to put you on overwhelm. It's going to put you into people pleasing and the feeling that I have to take care of everyone else to know love. Not true. We're going to work with that love piece as well, that you can have utter connection to divine love. Then you don't have to work so hard at self-love, okay? It will become more natural to bring that in, okay? I think I've said a lot already. Yeah, especially for people who have never heard me before, possibly. Okay. So we're working at a soul level. Know that things are transmuting for you right now as I'm speaking of these old patterns, because your universal nature is going, yes, yes, that's true. We don't have to be empathic. We don't have to be overly sensitive. We don't have to do things that way. We don't have to get love and connection through other people. We get it through our universal nature, and then we share it with others through co-creation. Co-creation, equal. We don't give and give and give and give and help and help and help and help. I would have been, burnt out a long time ago if it was just giving and giving and giving and giving. No, this is, and I'm not just a conduit for divine love. I'm embodying it so it can be in the earth. Embodying it more and more all the time, which is all we can do, is just keep adding to it. Okay. What I often say to people who are empathic and take on other people's energies, why is it I must have had a beard in another lifetime? Why is it that we take on the fear, the anger, the stuff? Why don't we take on the joy? Why are we not ultra open to the joy and the bliss? It's here on planet Earth. The peace, it's here. It may not be as big as the fear at this very second in time, but it's here. Why don't we take that on? Isn't that interesting? You can see that being empathic and overly sensitive, which makes you feel overwhelmed and exhausted, happens because you're too open to try to change things outside yourself all the time, transforming what's outside, so that we can have oneness instead of bringing it in on the inside. And the fact that you haven't been able to just empathically bring joy in tells me, which is what happened to me many years ago, it's like, there's something wrong with this pattern if we can't be empathic and sensitive to joy, way more than fear. Because we were truly designed our so-called empathic nature. Really, it was just our so-called sensitive nature. We always think of sensitive as a bad thing. To be sensitive to our intuitive guidance. Sensitive to our intuitive guidance. That's what our true sensitivity is, to our universal nature, to be able to bring that in at any time. That's what our sensitive nature is designed for, okay? So knowing that, when you feel like you can be guided by your own universal nature, when you can be guided by that, guess what happens? You become assured because your body is a receptor site for that guidance. You're not just listening to it from your third eye or your eardrums. You have that feeling in your body that it is available to you, and you can walk the path of assurance that this universal nature of you is right there with you. Okay, let me give you a few examples. Where's my notes? Notes, water. Now I'll say take a breath, because I say a lot. That happens to be my specialty. I say a lot in a short time. It goes deep, okay? But it's very lighthearted, right? It's very simple. That's what deep is. Okay. So I worked with a woman the other day who was exhausted. 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 Ever been there? Exhausted. Felt like your energy was run to the ground. And you could say, oh, it's the ascension process and all of that. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It could be from your child. It could be from doing too much, having too much fun. Who knows? Okay. So in working with her, she had said what she was doing was grounding. And I said, was it working for you? Grounding to the earth. I said, is it working for you? And she goes, well, no, I'm still exhausted. I said, okay. So there's another way to do grounding, right? Grounding, true grounding, is not to go to the earth to get your groundedness fed, because often as a soul, a high-level soul like all of us are, if you do that, you take all your energy and take it down to the earth, because we're all such givers. So when we go grounded, we go into the earth and it's like, ay, ay, ay. And then we feel more exhausted because we're just giving it away. Okay. Now there's a beautiful energy exchange with the earth. It can be very nurturing. But for high-level souls like you, the greatest nurturing that I've found over and over again with how many zillion sessions is when you go to your universe of you and you bring in that essence, whatever it is that you need more of, and only you know that, whether it's joy or peace or strength, and you bring that in, then your body feels fed. You're not exhausted. You feel like you have what you need. And you have the resource that you can pull in any time to bring that for yourself, to have all your own nourishment. Okay, great. Okay. So another person, oh my gosh, she showed up with complete terror and said, I don't know if I want to do, she had done a journey with me before. I don't know if I want to do a journey today because I'm terrified. If I go out there, something really bad's going to happen. And I said, we can work with that. That's not a problem. And she's like, what? I said, yeah, that's not a problem. Okay. That's guided assurance. That's been one of the things I've said since I started this work. When someone would come in, someone came in, years ago, 25 years ago, that said, I'm a multiple personality. Can you work with me? I was like, sure. Why not? I'm working with their soul, and I have guided. So I said to the guides quietly, I said, can you help me with this one? I've never worked with somebody with multiple personalities. Can you help me with this? And of course they did. Okay. So we're never alone. It's not like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to go into the world with what I want to bring because it's just me against the world. It's a dangerous world. What's some other things that we feel? Oh my gosh, we hate humanity. We want to bring our gifts to the world, but humanity sucks. Oops, those don't work together. We want to shift that pattern in the immersion for sure. because that's not helping humanity at all. We can't bring the new earth if we're like to humanity, right? Because humanity is part of the new world. It's not just a physical earth plane with a few of us skipping around. It's a humanity, okay? Others will say things like, I'm afraid of life. Oh, I still have a shock around being on the earth plane. Life is a burden. Oh, yeah, I've run into that a few times, to say the least. And we're overly responsible for it. It can get so crazy. Oh, and we don't trust people, right? Understandable. All of these are understandable patterns. There's no doubt about it. Understandable patterns. But we can change all of that. We can transform that. So this woman came and was terrified to do a journey. Well, Spirit helped me create the perfect way because I had guided assurance that we could find the way to help her. I'm not going to talk about what happened. If she wants to talk about it at some point, great. It's not mine to do. It wasn't long before she was in bliss because she connected to that guidance that assured her. And it wasn't just guidance, it was a whole experience that she had what she needed and love was totally present for her. It's so possible more and more these days. The quick turnaround is phenomenal. I love it. But the quick turnaround comes because we reach to those levels of ourselves that we have held behind, leaving the gold behind, so to speak. We want to gather that again. Okay. Another woman was talking about picking up the energy of someone else's illness and being triggered by that. And it brought up a trigger in her of, oh my God, is this person going to die? And then she got caught up in that of a feeling of around death, etc. And I said, it's not that you're picking up her energy, because that's what we go. I'm picking up her energy around dying and losing her and all of that. And that's what people do. They pick up they think it's picking up someone else's energy. It's your trigger about her death that you're feeling. Your trigger about her death that you're feeling. Okay. So it's up to us, and I'm going to teach you how in the immersion to work with those triggers that come up for yourself. We don't have time and energy to get help all the time. I don't want you to feel like you have to get help from someone else every time you get a triggered, that you have guided assurance that you know how to work with those patterns of, I'm not seen here, I'm not understood here, there's no place for me, I don't belong here, I want to go home, I'm so done with this, I feel like I want to die. All of those patterns live in us in varying degrees. They don't have to. They don't have to anymore. The amount of energy coming in to transform is blissfully wonderful. And yes, I said I don't want you to have to look outside yourself for help all the time. But there's something beautiful about being in a group of people who help magnify and support your coming forward, because all of you know oneness and love as a community experience that it allows your heart to go, oh, I'm supported not only by this incredible universe, but I am supported by the people in this world that see and understand me. Yes, part of it may be they have the same soul wounds, but more importantly, they have connection to the soul dimensions that are you. The same ones, soul family, you could call it, understanding of what you've had to deal with. There's something about that. So that's why I said at the very beginning that in essence, this is for those of you who suspect or know you're existing in parallel universes, even if it's just a small percentage of your soul makeup, as I've told you. You may have way more as it relates to love, but they're very closely connected or something else. But I'm doing this for you guys because you are so important, and very few people understand this whole matter of parallel dimensions, parallel existences. And it seems to be mine to bring forward. And it's yours to bring forward. Most importantly, I'm just here as a bridge to help you bring those energies in. It's part of my so-called contribution to this new world. If we can gather enough people, and it sounds like I'm responsible. I don't feel responsible. There's just a feeling of bringing people in to the earth plane with these higher dimensions. 100th monkey, it will turn around. It will. It will. We won't have to spend so much energy fussing in fear about what's going to happen in the next election and what's going to happen. It's a bumpy ride. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but we can have an influence, and it will speed up because of our influence. The transformation has gotten faster and faster because of us, because we're so wonderful. You guys are so wonderful. You're working hard. I know you are. I know you are. And because of that, it will come sooner. And of course, we know with the whole matter of climate change and all of that, it's pretty important for it to come pronto pronto, right? Okay, great. All right, so let me take a breath for a moment. And I know there could be questions about anything, and questions I love to answer. Let's see if there's anything. I am all alone here. Whew. We're getting more and more isolated all the time, aren't we? With that feeling, I'm all alone here. That's got to change. That hurts our heart so much. I want you to feel that as you go into your alone sense of self, it taps you into your authentic nature, your authentic nature. So you can feel stronger about who am I in this whole equation. You won't feel so alone, and then you will feel safe to bring your uniqueness and authentic nature forward, which is so important. So important. You each have unique places to bring into this, pieces to bring into this world. And it's important that it's here. You are important. You are so valuable. Okay, let's pause for a minute, take a breath. Colleen, could you put the link up? I just want to say something for a moment before we do questions. Ding. Okay, so feel at home on Earth in your multidimensional self. That's part of what we're talking about. When you feel at home on Earth in that multidimensional universal nature of you, you will have guided assurance in your path forward. Okay? And if we have time, we'll do a little bit of a journey kind of feeling. But the key right now is for you in this class, it starts Saturday, November 13th, 10 o'clock Pacific time. And there's going to be 4 sessions, 4 live sessions. And we will probably do this speaker view again, so you don't have to be seen at all. Okay, I know people are concerned about that with Zoom, that they don't want to always be looking at a whole bunch of people. I even debated doing Zoom because I want you to be in yourself and not looking at me. Okay, I almost went back to an audio, but it's a little more personal if you feel like I am talking with you. But we'll be doing a lot of guided journey and meditation experiences. So I want you to feel like it's inside, it's an inside experience. It's not just me teaching, and you have to be focused on me, okay? Not at all. It's all about you, okay? Okay, so we are talking about releasing all of these soul challenges at soul levels, because it's time for you to thrive. It is so much a time for you to thrive. I think I've sort of said everything that this class is about. Oh, but safety will come first. That's one of the things we're going to work with in the first session, is how to feel safe here. How to feel safe here. Bottom line, if you don't feel safe here, Remember, here is the reality that you create. The reality that you create. So we're going to teach you how to, and I say we now because it will be a collective energy field of guidance. We'll teach you how to feel safe in yourself and feel that in yourself, which is part of the assurance. When you feel that in yourself, it won't matter if you're in the earth or out in the sky. It will help you not to go out there all the time. But if you do go out, you'll be able to bring it back in. But safety is not, I feel okay being on planet Earth. It's, I feel safe to bring my gifts in. And that's up to you. That's not up to the Earth. The Earth is not a so-called safe place in general, so to speak, but you can feel complete safety in your reality and bring that with you. Because people could say, what do you mean be safe here? It's dangerous. I'm on fight or flight all the time. Or, oh my God, what virus is going to come up next? How could I possibly feel safe? Oh, we will. I will show you, you will experience how to feel safe in this field that we live in. Also, to be guided by your heart, essential. I want you to feel that. That's part of what we're going to do, is feel clear about being guided by your heart. Okay, how to do that, the how to do that, what that feels like. Okay, and that is part of guided assurance. Okay, so just take a breath right now, and I want you to feel. Let's do a little something right now. Do a feel for yourself. Go into your heart. Feel in your heart that sense of an opening at the back of your heart. An opening at the back of your heart. A portal. Feel a little Harry Potterish if you'd like to. Opening that portal and feeling it going up to a star that wants to be with you. A star that represents an aspect of you. There it is, going back through your heart. There's a star there, out in the universe of you. This is very simple, something you can do all the time. And breathe that heart open to receive that star of you, bringing it down and through that portal into your heart, and feel what it brings to your heart. And breathe that star into your heart. And just feel it saying, I'm here. I'm here. Your own North Star of guidance is here, connected to many guides, many universes. This is your personal North Star. And feel what it feels like to have that in your heart. You can bring it down into your abdomen as well, that womb space for creation. It also helps a lot with assurance. Good. Thank you, everybody. Okay, Colleen. And for those of you who did look at the screen to see all that incredible corn, colorful, it just reminds me each kernel is unique in its color, in what it brings to the whole. That would be each of you is one of those amazing kernels of corn. I know you've never thought of yourself as a kernel of corn, and I hope you never have to. You're way more than that. Oh, but you're beautiful like that, for sure. Okay, wonderful. So do you have the link up? It's in the chat, so I need to open the chat, don't I? There it is. There's my chat. Okay. It's the Susan and Colleen show. Yeah. Okay, so if you want, Colleen has put up the Feel at Home on Earth in Your Multidimensional Self link, so you can look at the webpage if you have not yet to see more about it, because I want you to feel really seen and understood. Maybe for the first time, I want you to feel seen and understood. That is so important for all of us. I have done so many readings and classes where feeling seen and understood seems to be a bottom line for people. If only I could feel like there's a place for me here to feel seen and understood and just witnessed. You will get that. Woohoo! You will get that. Okay? Yeah. And so it's 4 live sessions. And I probably will communicate with you between the sessions. We're doing it before Thanksgiving, so it's the 13th to the 22nd, 2 times at 5 o'clock Pacific time and 2 times at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time on a Saturday. Okay. So you can get immersed in all of this to set you up for the solstice, to set you up for 2022, which is a huge year for creation and relationship. And relationship relates to your relationship to your universal dimension, your relationship to yourself and your deep gold and your gifts, and your relationship to other. We have to change our relationship to other in the larger aspect. We have to, right? We won't have a unified field if we still have a lot of stuff going on around other and all of them and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So we want to get that party started. Oh, look at all that Colleen wrote in. Thank you. Okay, good. So let me answer questions either about the class or about anything. Okay, good.
You can raise your hand, I guess, then, right? Just from reactions.
Okay, someone's asking, well, this one I can answer. Yes, people can do that as well in the chat. It was a direct message. How will the 4 sessions work? Through frequency energy connection, energy transmission, guided meditation, teaching, all of the above. All of the above. There's always amazing amount of transmutation that happens. Okay, yes, guided journey meditations, because I want you to have a direct experience of what it is to connect to these fields of yours. If it was just energy frequency connection, it would feel good, but you wouldn't have anything to take home with you. I want you to have a party pack. I want you to feel like it is your birthday, Christmas, New Year's Day, 4th of July, if you live in the United States, every holiday put together. And if anybody who's worked with me before wants to say something about that, Sarah, I felt you. It's true. You will feel like you just were part of a big, incredible party of love and party of connection and party of assurance. And you will feel that. And that's why we build on it. So we build on the resources that you bring in. And yes, the energy is out of this world. But it will build for you. And again, we're going to, yes, be shifting those ideas we have about not feeling understood and seen here, feeling like you have to isolate, feeling like you're too empathic, feeling like you're too sensitive. All those things gotta go, but you have to learn what to replace it with. You know, it's not just saying, fear be gone. No, we could do a lot by looking at fear in the face and going, no, thank you. I'm coming over here to light. But that's a deliberate action. It's love in action. But when you come over here, what you reach for, you have to know what you're reaching for. And we're going to give you the gift of you back that you're reaching for. I want to be the fullness of me. I want to be all love again. I want to be all of that. You're going to reach for that and bring that in, and it dissolves the old fear. It dissolves the old patterns when you reach for what is true and real for you. That is your authentic nature. So everybody's journey is a little different, which is a fun, creative challenge in a group call. But I trust it. I've been doing it for a while now. Okay, I trust it. You will each one have your own unique experience, and it will be part of the collective. Okay, and I will guide you if your experience isn't what you want it to be. If you get stuck along the way, I don't know how to do journeys, I don't know what you're talking about, I'll help you with that. Okay, I'm pretty good at helping people at this point, understanding where those kinks in the hose happen and you're not sure what to do next. Okay, I want you to feel brave enough, that's guided assurance, to live from your heart, live from your gold, live from that multidimensional nature of you. And that is what we're doing. Okay, no more overly sensitive, empathic nature, no more afraid to be in the world, no more feeling that they're going to abandon, reject you, etc., etc. That you feel confident in what you have to bring, the gift of you. Okay, any other questions? You can type them in or raise your hand. And Colleen is here. Anyone have any questions? Are you all just stunned? And what do I say now with all of you, all you've just said? Oh, okay. You're welcome, Angelo. You're absolutely welcome. You are welcome here. All of you is welcome here. You can say that in your heart all the time. All of you, all of these dimensions are welcome here. How great is that? How great is that? So, any other questions? No curious Georges on the phone today, on the Zoom call today? Or are you all just up and out of your body, enjoying your universal dimensions? You could be, you could be. Or are you basking in the new place you feel right now in yourself? That would be great. Because you can see that as we talk about these things, the energy does shift. And that little star example of bringing in that star can change everything in a moment. We're going to be doing lots more of that in the immersion. Okay, Colleen, is there anyone wanting to raise their hand?
Haven't seen anyone raise their hand yet, but just remind everyone, you know, you do it through the reactions button on your Zoom window. And if you're on the phone, because we have someone on the phone, you do *9 to raise your hand.
Okay, I'll just be quiet for a moment. What a concept.
Oh, Angela said, I couldn't figure out how to connect. Oh, she might have just, oh, okay, she has a question, maybe. Or Angela was saying that she couldn't figure out how to connect, and she's laughing.
She got the joke. Connect through Zoom and connect through the larger connection. Yeah, that's good. Is she trying to connect now?
No, I think she was talking about the star, but I'm not sure. Angela,
that's fine.
You can let us know.
She's still here. So in the meantime, so I had an experience that was really wonderful this morning. I was doing a little exercise and I had this overwhelming feeling of appreciation in myself for the protection mechanisms that my body has put in place. Now, they aren't creative. I put them there a long time ago or yesterday or whenever it was to keep the gold of me from being harmed. And it's so beautiful to thank those parts of you for doing their job. I asked them to do their job, right? Okay. If you had someone who, let's be gentle here. If you were bullied as a child and somebody said mean things to you, you'll never amount to anything. You would put a protection in place that says, I don't want anyone ever saying something bad to me again, right? You might do that. So it's time to thank those parts of you that put those things in place because you asked them to. And now you can say to that part, thank you so much, whether it's in your body and you've got physical pain, or it's something in your heaviness, feeling stuck, shut down. All of those are usually those parts of you that have been in protection mechanism because you put them in place there. So you can now say, I'm thankful that you did that for me. And now I'd like to give you another job. Instead of being my protector, I want you to stand with me in bringing more life into my body, into my experience with people. I want you to bring more life here. Can you do that with me? Okay. And I will be teaching you in the immersion how to do that very specifically, how to get that life force from the universe that is unconditionally safe and unconditionally loving and supportive to help move you forward. And let those parts of you that are in lockdown because you put them in, let go and become life again. Because they were always life. And then we went here, I want you to do this. And now we're going, no, you can go back to this, your original blueprint for life. Okay, great. Okay. Any other questions? Whoops, there was
a sharing.
sharing.
Yeah, Angela did say that she's on the phone. I'll be traveling with my sons during 2 of the sessions. Will be fun in nature and a road trip and open to who I am. Perfect timing before I'm with my big fat, and I don't know what she's saying, Sicilian family.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. To have the fortitude, the guided assurance to be with your family members at Thanksgiving and Christmas, for sure. And yes, there's always a replay to the recordings because I know not everyone can be there live for all of them, for sure, just because of the time zone thing, etc. Always replays, instantly they go out, so you can have them immediately, put them in one ear while you're with your Sicilian family. Absolutely. Yes, it's great timing to prepare you to be more in the world from here on in. Thanks, Colleen, for bringing that. And Angela. Okay, I think we feel complete here. Thank you each one for what you brought of this creative field before us, that we can walk into that creative field with more guided assurance. And that star, that North Star, I loved that, how that came in. Your own North Star of guidance is beautiful. Thank you all, each one, for bringing that, and being present with your multidimensional self in this earth plane. I know it's not always easy, and I so appreciate you for bringing in the infinite possibilities again to this earth plane, that we can turn this ship around faster and faster, easier and easier all the time. Blessings of love. Hope to see you next week. If you have any questions that come up about the immersive, the price is a steal. I'm sure you've seen that on the website. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, you can email me as well. Okay, much love. oneness, and guided assurance to you all.